What's going on YouTube? It's Miles here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel and welcome back to the vlogs. Today I have a huge haul for you guys. A lot of new shit has come in through the mail, as well as a bunch of new purchases that I've made at the video game store this week. I went and bought like 12 new games. One new thing that I want to show you guys that isn't really part of what I do on the channel here is this new Lego set that I got. It's the what the fuck did they call this? The Speed Champions Back to the Future DeLorean. This is like the third time they've done this in Lego. In 2015, when the original Lego Ideas DeLorean set came out, there used to be well, I mean, it still exists, but back when it first came out, like, Lego Ideas was like a brand new thing, and I guess somebody got enough upvotes to have the DeLorean actually come out as a real set, so they made it as a real set, and I bought that when I was a little kid. But this one is actually way more modernized and looks way better than the original DeLorean from 2015, so this is probably the best set to get out there if you wanted to get the Back to the Future DeLorean. But with that out the way, we actually have a lot of games to talk about. Now, I do have a fuck ton of sealed Lego sets. If I literally turn the camera around, like you guys can see, those are all sealed Legos in that pile right there. Mostly Star Wars, but actually that's not true. They're mostly Indiana Jones and Spider-Man. I have a big passion for collecting Legos as well as collecting comic books. As you guys can see as well, right under here, I have a whole stack of just literally only Spider-Man comic books, like all of those books. There's probably 400 books down there. They're all Spider-Man. And they're not, new. They're from the 90s. Some of them are from the 60s and 70s as well. I think my earliest issue is the Amazing Spider-Man number 55. If I remembering correctly, it has Doc Ock on the cover, but I might be wrong. I don't really remember, because I haven't looked in that case for a long time. But anyways, now on to the new stuff that we've got. We got a whole bunch of Xbox 360 games. These are all brand new. We got a whole bunch of PS2/PS3 games, all brand new. We got 3 DS games, another CD, and then I got 2 new movies to show you guys. The first thing I will say that is new is I bought the manual for Spider-Man 3 on the Xbox 360. I wanted to buy this because before I had, the regular 360 case with the disc. Back when I first got this disc at GameStop in like 2014, it came in a secondhand case, so that means it was just the disc. And here's the disc. It's a very beautiful disc, Spider-Man 3. That font that you see right there is the same font that's on the original PlayStation 3. Actually, no, all the PlayStation 3s. The whole PS3 ordeal with the font is the same font as Spider-Man 3, and they did that on purpose for marketing reasons, because Spider-Man is owned by Sony. Basically, I bought this cover sleeve in like 2022 when I first started collecting. This is like when I first bought my PS2, when I first got Simpsons Hit and Run, when I first bought God of War. Like, this is when I was first trying shit for the first time and being like, wow, this age of gaming, this version of gaming is night and day. And yeah, so I bought this cover slip for like $8 on eBay, and I never actually bought the manual. So a couple weeks ago, I decided to buy the manual, and now I have a complete in-box copy of Spider-Man 3 for the Xbox 360. Why am I hype about that? I don't know. This was one of my favorite games growing up as a kid. You can play as literally the fucking black suit. Even though you can't transform in between the black suit and the red suit, I think you can only do that on the PS2 version, which we actually have. I bought the PS2 version. There's just there's 10 different endings to the story, I think, or there's 10 different storylines, excuse me. And I think that's pretty cool. And there's also an option where you can play as the new Goblin, which is like Harry Osborn, Green Goblin, because there's a DLC pack for that, which I also have. This is not a new game, though, by the way. I've had this game literally since I was 8 years old. So yeah, that will be set to the side. Actually, over here next to my feet, all of these games I brought from my dad's house to my mom's just to kind of play for the next couple of weeks while I'm here, because my dad's on a business trip, and I decided to spend some time at my mom's house with my dogs and my mom and my, the other members of my family. And, like, by other members, I mean my sister and my stepdad. I don't really have any physical games here except for my giant stack of PS4 games that you see in the background, but I don't really play PS4, nor do I really install games in my PS5 Pro. I just don't really play 8th or 9th generation consoles. I don't care anymore. I don't care. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on to the actual haul here, starting off with this Linkin Park Hybrid Theory CD that I got off of eBay. I don't really know if I'm going to continue to buy more CDs, but recently I purchased a Illmatic CD Nas at fucking Barnes & Noble for like $10, and I saw this on eBay for the same price. It was like $8.99, $9.99. It's $9.99. Hybrid Theory has been one of my favorite albums since I discovered it like recently, and I've been getting into all of this, punk rock and rock and roll and heavy metal music recently as I've turned 20 years old, and like I've had a complete shift in like things that I find interesting, things that sound cool to me, things that look cool to me. Like Linkin Park is something that I've always known. It's always been in memes and stuff like that. But I never really took it seriously until I started going through what I guess you could call, my own version of what all of these artists are talking about in this music. And I just haven't turned back since then. I mean, this shit's fucking amazing. And I don't know if I would ever, I just don't think I would. I don't think I would. So yeah, there's that. I thought that would be pretty cool to show off because I don't know how many people are, collecting or still talking about CDs. I know that some people still like to play CDs in their car, but my car doesn't have a CD player because it was manufactured in 2023. So unfortunately, my Challenger RT shaker, my 5.7 Hemi, it doesn't have that. I've actually never shown the car on the channel, and I really did want to show the car on the channel, but I might have to do that as like an incentive for like 500 subscribers or something, because I literally am still sitting at like 200 subscribers. Nah, I'm sitting at like 300 something. I think it's like 300. I don't know, because it's such a low number, and like I really want more fans. I don't want more fans. Like, I just want to make a difference, and I know that I have to reach more people. So at this point, if you haven't shared this video with one of your friends, share it with one of your friends so they can see the rest of this insane lot that we got going on here. We'll go to DS games now. We got 3 DS games, 3 brand new DS games. I got 2 of them at a store, and this one I ordered off of eBay. This one is called Galactic Tazball. I've never fucking heard of it before, but you know how DS, they have 2 screens. So the bottom screen is like this green sphere ball, and you're supposed to use the stylus and roll it around to control the movement of the Tasmanian Devil's character in the game. And it's basically like a puzzle game. You solve puzzles, you get through the stage, you beat up bosses, stuff like that. There's 25 levels. And this was like $7 with free shipping, so I kind of just jumped on it because it came complete in box. And I'm not gonna go too in depth to show off the manuals and everything, but like that is some pretty cool detailing in there for sure, coming from a DS game. It's an interesting game, 100%. It's just like not one of those things that you play and then you're like, wow, I'm having such a good time right now. I could sit here and do this forever. It's like the feeling that I would say it is like you're sitting there like, if I was 8 years old, I would still hate this game, and I hate this game. Meaning it's a bad game. I wouldn't buy this game. It looks cool though, on display it looks pretty cool. So I guess that's why I bought it. It looked cool on the page. Next we have Monopoly, which I just couldn't say no to. I love Monopoly, and when I was little, I would always play it on my iPhone or iPad whenever I was on vacation. Like, board games was something that I would play against an AI opponent literally every single time I went somewhere growing up. It was like that or Angry Birds, and I just loved Monopoly. So now that I saw that they had this for the DS, this was like $8 as well. I had to buy it, dude. It's made by EA, and I don't know if you guys have ever played Monopoly on your iPhone or iPad back like 10 years ago. I'm not talking about like Monopoly Street or whatever bullshit Monopoly game modes they have today. I'm talking about like your standard board game Monopoly, like the actual app that treats it like a board game. It goes very slow, stuff like that. This is literally regular Monopoly. There's no, ifs, ands, or buts. It's the standard Monopoly game. As you can see here, it's the regular shit just on the DS. And you can play with another friend, I believe, through like wireless play with like the DS connection abilities. I don't really fucking know because I never really played DS with other people growing up. I didn't have other friends with it. Mind you, at this time in like 2013, everyone's got their phones. So, yeah, it's literally just classic Monopoly on the go, and that's what it says on the back. And that's why I bought it, because a lot of the apps nowadays, like I looked up Deal or No Deal. I tried to get Deal or No Deal on my phone, the fucking standard, classic ass fucking game. I can't buy that. I can't get that on the App Store without like playing some bullshit like new version of the game, and I literally don't want to do that. I just want to play regular Deal or No Deal. So I had to go get the fucking DS game of Deal or No Deal just to be able to play the classic like pick your case, thing, and the banker offers you money. Like, I get that modern day people want more dopamine, but like I'm playing Monopoly for the sake of the long run. Like, I want to sit there and feel the longevity of my Monopoly match, because that's the fucking way I was taught how to play Monopoly. Is it's a long game, it might take a while, but isn't that the point? Like, I like that shit. Isn't that the fucking point? Anyways, so yeah, there's Monopoly. Honestly, I think it's plus 10 aura to have Monopoly on the DS. So now that I do have it and you don't, it's like, imagine you're at the fucking airport, right? You're like, damn, I'm so bored. My phone's about to die. I don't want to waste battery. And then you see a motherfucker just whip out the DS and they got Monopoly for that shit. Like, yo, that might be a vibe. You know what I mean? So now we're getting places. Anyways, last but not least, we have Transformers Animated the Game. I have a few of these DVDs in like a stack of DVDs because I used to watch this show growing up. I popped this in the DS last night, and it's not that fun, I'll be honest. It's very, very shitty in terms of like how the game moves. You can't even jump with Optimus Prime. I don't think he has a jump button. You swap between Prime and Bumblebee and like this guy right here. I forget his name, the big guy. And essentially you just beat up bosses, and there's like a lot of different stages like you would expect for a DS game, right? Also, I will say the artwork in the back is kind of cool because you got the Transformers artwork like behind and shit, but basically what I was saying is the game's not that fun, mostly because like, why can't Optimus Prime jump? Somebody, I guess, who played this game before me made it to like 96% in the game, so I jumped into that save file, and apparently like either the ending of this game is impossible to beat, or I just suck, or the game's just horrible, because that's where I'm getting the whole Optimus Prime can't jump thing from. It was like a boss fight. I was trying to beat up some like giant Decepticon, and it just wouldn't take any damage to my hits. I kept trying to block, but even when I was blocking, I was still getting hit and taking damage. And Optimus Prime didn't have a jump button. Only Bumblebee could jump. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? I don't really understand how this game works. So I kind of just rage quit and got off. But anyways, now that that's out of the way, we can take a look at these two wonderful movies that I just bought. I bought these in a combo pack for like $12 on eBay. This is Fantastic Four, and then Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, but this is like the Power Cosmic Edition. It's just got some extra features. We'll take a look at that in a second. So Fantastic Four #1 came out, and it says here, what is that, 2005? It says 2005, so I'm just going to take it for 2005. 2005 Fantastic Four. There's the front. It's got a slip cover. It's full screen edition, meaning it's shot in 4:3. For those of you that don't know, widescreen is the type of format that you see when you're at the movie theater. They got the black bars at the top, and everything is very wide. You can see like everything from left to right. It's a huge, it's a huge display of screen. And that's typically because the movie screens are so fucking big in the movie theaters nowadays. But full screen is basically a kind of like cut out version of that widescreen, so it's less, you can't see as much as you can on widescreen format, but it's like closer up, so things are a little bit more detailed. But back in the day, televisions used to be boxes instead of flat screens, so 4x3 full screen format was like pretty standard, because that's how most CRT TVs up until, you know, I would say the more modern flat screens today with like smart TV capabilities, that kind of killed the full screen thing. But like, what I'm trying to say is you can still watch this full screen DVD on a new TV. I was watching this on my PS4 last night. It's just not going to be the same format as a widescreen movie. I can still watch this in, you know, widescreen, like it not actual widescreen format, but I can still watch it in full screen. Like there's no black bars on the sides. This is the easiest way to explain it, okay? Widescreen format is with black bars at the top and the bottom. Full screen format is with black bars at the left and the right. So, you know those like old episodes of SpongeBob that you watch on your new TV, right? And there's black bars on the left and the right side, and it's like a box. It's like a perfect square box. It's not like a widescreen HD format. That's what this is right here. That's what full screen is. But anyways, now that rant is out the way, here is the fucking sick-ass poster for the characters. Pretty nice. You got the 4 there looking all fire. Well, it literally has fire around it. Yeah, and there's the special features if you want to read it. I'm literally like not reviewing this movie at all. It's literally fucking Fantastic Four from 2005. This is just something that, like, if I were to want to watch a movie like this, I would rather have it in person than rent $4 to fucking see it on the fucking big screen. But there's definitely a widescreen version of this movie. I just don't have it, so I guess maybe having this is just fucking pointless, but I don't think it's pointless. Yeah, Fantastic Four slipcover, pretty cool, right? Not much else to say about that. Where is the other movie? Here's the other movie. This one is Fantastic Four 2, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and this one is the Power Cosmic Edition, meaning it comes with full screen and widescreen formats. And there's a whole bunch of extras, so if you want to read the extras, there's that. There's some other artwork there. Take off the slipcover, it's the Silver Surfer, which that looks very cool, I will admit. And this is obviously from the time where Silver Surfer was a dude, not a woman. I do not fuck with the fact that they made Silver Surfer a girl in the new movie. I don't care. Flame me in the comments, call me sexist, whatever you want. Silver Surfer is not a fucking girl, he's a dude. I mean, realistically, he could be whatever, it could be whatever the fuck it needs to be, but, like, I'd rather him be a dude, because, like, it's more badass when he's a dude, like, that's just for me. That's just me personally. I don't know why the disc looks like this. I'm not really sure. This says side B, flip side is widescreen, side A is full screen, and it's basically just says Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and there's 2 sides to it. I don't know if you can read that, but it's a blank DVD with 2 sides to it. So apparently they fit 2 different movies on one disc. They're just based off of the side you put them on. Didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know you could do that. This right here is the special features disc, which actually has some printing on it. So, why am I showing you guys 2 movies? I don't know. Typically, when I buy movies anywhere, I don't show them online. I just thought, like, more recently, I've been thinking every time I buy something that's media related, I should just put it on the channel, because my channel is literally just me reviewing different kinds of media. So, yeah, I got the combo pack for the old Fantastic Four movies, even though this one I can watch in all of its glory because it's widescreen. Now, like I remind you, widescreen is the ability to watch it like you watching it in the movie theater, but with the full screen compatibility, it zooms in a little bit, so there are some things like in the corner of the screen that you can't see because it's not projected in this full screen format. Yeah. never get anything full screen today. Like, I wouldn't go out and compare, like, let's say we have two different movies, Fantastic Four, and this one's full screen, and this one's widescreen, but this one has the slipcover, right? Which is like, you know, the slipcover, but this one is just the standard movie. I would get the standard widescreen movie instead of the slipcover full screen movie because widescreen is better viewing format. Full screen only existed because we used to have CRTs back in the day, okay? Now, everything is HD, everything is widescreen capable. Get widescreen format. Please. Like, please. Pretty please. Okay. That's all out of the way. Pretty much everything besides the actual meat and potatoes, like the games, you know, the thing that you guys came here for, the real games. This video might as well be 40 fucking minutes long because we're gonna go through a lot. So we're gonna start with the PlayStation 3 / PlayStation 2 games because I'm more excited for the 360 titles. We're gonna start off with the two PS3 games I got here. First one is Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension, and it also comes with 4 free episodes of Phineas and Ferb on the game disc. Now, this also came out for the DS, and I have the DS version. I didn't actually know this was available on PlayStation, so when I saw this, I freaked out, like internally, obviously, and bought it. It's PlayStation Move compatible. I don't know what that means, but the front is super sick. There's the logo side, and there's the back. It's basically just like a puzzle-themed level game, kind of like your standard Lego game, except it's Phineas and Ferb. And apparently there's Agent T, which I just showed you guys. I guess he's like a special agent. I don't, like, in the back right corner of the game. You basically battle against Dr. Doofenshmirtz, power through intense dimensions. You can activate power-packed gadgets. And there are 4 free Phineas and Ferb episodes included for the first time on this 2-in-1 Blu-ray disc. The one thing that I would say is cool about PlayStation 3 compared to the Xbox 360 is that these were all Blu-ray discs, so it's possible for stuff like this to be a thing. There's the main menu screen if you guys were wondering what that looked like. Main game screen as well. That's what the gameplay looks like if you're wondering, which personally looks sick to me because it's fucking Phineas and Ferb in a video game. But here's the disc in all of its glory, looking very, very nice. What year is this? 2011. Yeah, this is like real OG shit, man. If I had PlayStation back in the day, this is probably something I would have had. Yeah, I mean, I paid like $12 for this, so I'm very happy that I have it. And I couldn't believe that, like, I actually kind of couldn't believe my eyes at first when I saw this. I was like, what? No way. I have to get it. Like, that was literally my my initial reaction. Next we have Murdered Soul Suspect. I don't exactly know what this game is either. I've never seen it, but I was at the store with my friend and he pointed this one out, so Bubba, shout out you, bro. I would not have caught this without you. This was only $4, so it was another reason for me to get it. But basically, the premise of this game is, I guess you're like you work for, what are you? You're a detective, and somebody murders you, and then you basically wake up in purgatory, but you still have access to the physical world, and you try to solve your own murder. Which sounded very interesting to me. Now, this came out right around the time that the PS4 was released already, because I remember that the PS4 released and they changed the looks of PS3 games to now have the blue logo instead of the classic black PS3 logo that was for the era. And I remember because they did that for the discs too, right? But this game probably came out on PS4 since it came out in 2014. There's a digital strategy map that comes with the game. I don't really know what that means, but yeah, I thought that was also a pretty cool game. And I'm not really the kind of person that buys a lot of PS3 games. My PS3 collection is very slim compared to the rest of my consoles, mostly because PS3 can also play PS2 and PS1. And I'll be honest, out of all the PlayStation consoles that I've seen games for, PlayStation 2 is my favorite, because For the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, about 90% of the games are available on both the 360 and the PS3, and knowing me, if you know me, I'd much rather have the game for the 360 than the PS3 because I love Xbox 360 and I want as much achievements as possible. But for the 6th generation, I'll always go PS2. I think that the PlayStation 2 has some sort of horrified like monopoly over everything else. When I see the PlayStation 2 logo versus the Xbox logo, I just trust the PS2 logo more than I do the original Xbox logo, but I trust the 360 logo more than I trust the PS3 logo. Yeah. What I mean by logos, like that era of that company. So the Xbox 360 was a better console than the PS3 in terms of sales and, you know, multiplayer functionality with the sorts of games that were available at the time. There were more people enjoying COD multiplayer on the 360 than there were on PS3. And that's why I choose the Xbox 360, because that's the experience that I had with the 360. So now anytime I'm going anywhere and I see another game for that console, I already know what that console brings to the table, so I'd rather get it for that console. But when it comes to the PS2 and the original Xbox, I think of, you know, how the original Xbox was like kind of the underdog, and it was like mostly, I guess, people that just, if I was alive during that time, I would have gotten a PS2. There's no way I would have gotten an Xbox, but it was just like, because of people playing Halo, that's why, you know, now you got incentive, now you have reasons to buy other games for your Xbox, because you don't just want to play Halo. But I have Halo, and it works for the 360, so that's why we stack PS2 games, and we have all these new titles to look at, such as SpongeBob SquarePants, featuring Nicktoons, The Globs of Doom. This is a game that I've heard of for a few years now, but never really seen in person, and I finally got my hands on a copy. You can play as Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, I think Plankton, and whoever the fuck this guy is in the back. He looks like some Invader Zim character. He might actually be an Invader Zim character, but there is the back in case you want to read it. The game looks very, very intriguing. I'm very excited to play this because I definitely will play this. All of the games where you can play as like several characters from my childhood cartoons, like, dude, I fiend for this shit. There's also another game called Attack of like the Toy Bots or something. You can play as multiple characters in that one as well. And there's also another one that's called Nicktoons United or something. I believe this is a Play THQ magazine kind of thing that's showing different, so there are different like games that are available in this era. And there's, on the right, you can see Attack of the Toy Bots. On the left, there's Atlantis SquarePantis. These are all like just basic children's puzzle games. And then there's some sort of advertisement for SpongeBob merchandise. But like, just look at this shit, dude. This is the old world we used to live in. This is stuff that nowadays you would see on your phone or some shit. But back then, this type of stuff you could only really find if you were looking in the right places, you know? And I hate how today everything is so fucking publicly available everywhere. It's like, you don't like, I'm not even trying to look for like video games or this sort of media, and I find it no matter where the fuck I'm going, because the algorithms just shove it back in my face, because that's all I watch on my phone is shit like this, right? This came out in 2008. I don't know why it says new 2009. There's a new 2009 sticker that says you could win a home entertainment system. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, next, we got Astro Boy, the video game, and the reason why I copped this is because Astro Boy was one of my favorite movies growing up. So knowing that there was a game for this console, I went ahead and bought it. And I did some research, and apparently, although this game came out in 2009, it only came out on the PS2, DS, and like PSP, I think, which I really don't know why. I'm not sure why so many of these games, even though the PlayStation 3 was already out, didn't come out for the PlayStation 3. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because you would never see a game developed today that's only available on the PS3 and PS4 and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what the fuck that's about, but it's pretty much just two-player co-op mode, flight, super strength, arm cannons, butt machine guns, and more. featuring the voices of Freddie Highmore and Christian Bale from Astro Boy the movie. Live the movie, become Astro Boy. It's basically the events of the movie throughout this game, right? So as I was saying earlier, I now also have Spider-Man 3 for PS2. And the only difference between Spider-Man 3 on PS2 and Xbox 360 is that on the PS2 version, I was told that you can swap between the black suit and the red suit. But if you keep the black suit on for too long, it will corrupt you. Some shit like that. There is only 5 different storylines to choose from on the PS2 version compared to 10 in the Xbox 360 version. But there are 2 exclusive bonus villains, Morbius and Shriek. So it's essentially a completely different game. This is more of like your standard beat 'em up, kind of linear level sort of Spider-Man experience. Even though the open world web swinging is still a thing, it's more so identical to that of Spider-Man 2 for the PS2 because it's still a PS2 game. The PS3 and Xbox 360 version of this game is a much more open experience. There's still fighting mechanics in this game, but it's not really a beat 'em up. You can kind of decide how you want to destroy your enemies. You can web them up, you can beat the shit out of them, or you can go completely stealthy. In this, your only choice is to beat them up, if that makes sense. So why did I get the PS2 version? Because I want to play the other story. I want to experience the other story and compare it to that of the Xbox 360 story. So yeah, I wanted to do that. The manual being with the game as well definitely makes it more worthwhile. And I'm definitely hyped because complete in box is always cool. And I don't know, anything PS2 and Spider-Man is just so infatuating to me. Like, I don't really know why. But yeah, I'll get that out the way. Next up, we have X2 Wolverine's Revenge, which I didn't even know existed until about a week ago when I ordered it. Hugh Jackman's on the cover, but the character model for Wolverine in the game looks nothing like Hugh Jackman. That picture right there in the bottom, that is what Wolverine looks like in the game right there. Basically, it's the events of, I guess, Wolverine's uprising with Weapon X and him being turned into an adamantium skeleton with General Stryker, that type of stuff. And now the whole point of the game is you go back to the Weapon X facility to like figure stuff out. You face off with Sabretooth, Wendigo, Juggernaut, Magneto, while Professor X and Beast help you search for a cure. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess read that part if you want to understand. Oh, deadly virus. Oh, so this is literally like as soon as the adamantium's in your body, there's a virus that's gonna kill you in 48 hours. That's funny. It says there's a free movie ticket inside, and in the manual there actually is some sort of like advertisement for a free ticket, but I'm pretty sure that the real owner of the ticket took it because it probably would have been right here. It probably looked something like this. But why am I saying this? I don't know. I just I saw this and I was like, this looks like the X-Men Origins Wolverine game, but a little cooler, and I decided that why not just cop this as well and add it to the collection because it's part of the X-Men saga. But the gameplay is literally nothing to that of like what you would expect for seeing Hugh Jackman on the cover. It literally has nothing to do with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Even though Hugh Jackman's on the fucking front cover. And 20th Century Fox produces this game. I'm not sure why. Next up, we have X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is a game that I've played on my Xbox 360 for you guys, but there was also a PS2 version because the 360 version was titled the Uncaged Edition, and this one, which I actually didn't know about until recently, was the original product for this game. So this X-Men Origins Wolverine was apparently made for the PS2 because on the back here you can see that This game was specifically developed for the PlayStation 2, and this is definitely more of a beat 'em up as well. I would say all of like the movie games that we grew up playing, like Spider-Man, Iron Man, Batman, that type of stuff, like for the 7th gen consoles, for the PS3 and Xbox 360, you don't only get the aspect of a beat 'em up fighting game, you can now add things like stealth and cool cinematic scenes and, you know, extra details with graphics and stuff like that. Back then on the PS2, things were definitely more limited, so the idea of being able to have multiple different ways to attack your enemy was just too much for the memory capability back in the day. At least in my perspective, I think that's probably what the logic here is, because there's really not much to do in this game besides fighting, versus the other game on the 360, there's like more animations, more diverse gameplay. This one is probably a little more repetitive in terms of the animations, although it does say that there are cinematic boss battles, rage powers, vicious fighting moves, and astonishing cast of Marvel heroes and villains. But it's a unique story developed exclusively for the PlayStation 2. And you can take on the impossible in your hunt to discover how the ultimate weapon was created. Relentless combat and uncover the story. And then the graphics, like I said, don't look bad, but like here's the gameplay, right? It doesn't look bad, right? It's just like it's a lot more linear and just straight up like beat the shit out of the enemies compared to the 360 version, which definitely gives you more ability to like jump and run around and just free roam and stuff like that. I just think the front cover is so fucking cool. Like, look at that. That's fucking sick, right? The last two games we have here, we got X-Men Legends, which is basically the same thing as Ultimate Alliance, just with X-Men. And yeah, that's pretty much all I'll say for X-Men Legends. It's essentially just Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but specifically with X-Men characters. You can upgrade the players, stuff like that. The census of the game is Magneto has unleashed his most diabolical plan ever. Earth falls under a shroud of darkness. X-Men Legends puts the fate of the world in your hands, combining customized teams of mutants through an epic series of battles to save mankind. Right? Literally Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And then finally we have Dead to Rights, which I've heard of a long time ago. Never bought it. Basically, you're one good cop in a very bad situation, and that's all I will say. You guys can read the back if you want to read the back, but Dead to Rights, very, very cool game. It was only like $12. And on top of that, you get some amazing artwork for the manual. It's a Namco game, so you know you're in good hands when it comes to Namco. They've been at this for like fucking 50 years. Basically, it kind of looks like it's like a fucking Mission Impossible kind of like, dare I say, James Bond kind of experience. Yeah, you're just like mercenary that kills people type thing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut the video here, and then you guys won't tell the difference, but I'm gonna come back later and film more because I got stuff to do. So next, we are moving on to the Xbox 360 games, and then that is it for the haul, unfortunately. Actually, also, I did happen to order another Xbox One controller off of eBay. This right here is an original 2013 Xbox One controller. I ordered this because I was playing 2K14 and I rage quit about a couple weeks ago, so I broke that controller and I had to buy a new headset adapter because these controllers don't have headset jacks. They only have adapter ports because back in the day, technology was very limited. Anyways, let's move on because that was just a very quick thing. It was like $40 for the pair. We got Legends of WrestleMania, which is apparently a game where you recreate the best moments of all time from WrestleMania, or like the WWE's history, and you can this game is apparently compatible with WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. I guess we could use the characters in this game on SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, but This game is essentially just relive, rewrite, and redefine the greatest moments in WrestleMania history over 40 superstars and legendary managers. Not really sure what the premise of this game is, or if you can play it like a normal WWE game with just like one-on-one capabilities, but we'll find out later. Next up, we have X-Men, the official game. I also have this for the original Xbox, but I wanted to get it for the 360 just for the HD graphics. It's pretty much the story from the original X-Men movie inside of a video game. And this time around, you actually do get to play as a Hugh Jackman CGI character instead of playing as a shitty, you know, like PS2-ified Wolverine. What I'm talking about is the X2 Wolverine's Revenge game for PS2, like I showed you guys earlier, doesn't actually give you the character model of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, but this game does. So this is like technically actual movie merchandise compared to the original game X2 Wolverine's Revenge. That's not really movie merchandise. It's a game based off of the movie, but it's not, you know, based off of the events that actually happened in the movie. It's its own standalone game. This is literally the events of the movie playing out in a video game. We also have X-Men Legends, which I didn't even know about until recently. Not X-Men Legends, X-Men Destiny. Basically, you get to pick a bunch of different powers from different X-Men characters. You can fight alongside or against the X-Men based off the choices you make. Inherit X genes to arm yourself with the powers of your favorite X-Men characters. Customize and enhance your powers through branching decision trees. So it's like, I guess you make your own hero, and you either become friends or enemies with the X-Men depending on your choices, which is pretty cool. Sounded pretty lit. Sounded interesting. We got Alpha Protocol, the espionage RPG. This is the Best Buy exclusive stealth weapons pack bundle. I never heard of this game before, but as you can clearly hear, it's based off of what it tells you. It's an espionage RPG. You accomplish missions with stealth, firepower, sabotage, and charisma. Exclusive stealth weapons pack ensure you get the job done discreetly. Assassinate and steal to solve your missions. A civilian airline has been attacked and worldwide political tensions are rising. As Secret Agent Michael Thornton, your path is open and your options are unlimited. In the first modern day espionage RPG, your greatest weapon will be choice. So I guess your choices affect the gameplay of this game. We'll definitely play this on the channel. It's a Sega game, which means it's definitely a good one. It's also made by Unreal Engine, so I have a lot of good hopes about a game like that. Next up, we have Rage Anarchy Edition. This actually is a slipcover, as you can see here. This is made by Bethesda. It's pretty much like Fallout. That's how I would describe this game. After an asteroid impacts Earth, humanity attempts to rebuild, and there's, you're basically a guy that explores the wasteland of a rebuilding planet, and there's factions and, gangs and stuff like that, and the Earth is pretty much, burnt to the ground at this point. There's 3 discs for some reason. I was told that disc 1 and disc 2 are the campaign, while disc 3 serves as the multiplayer. And then you have the manual, which is decently thick. As you can see here, it's got a good amount of pages. And that is pretty much it. I assume all of the extra stuff comes already on the disc. So, yeah, I would hope all this stuff comes on the disc, like the double barrel shotgun, the Fists of Rage, and other stuff like that. But it's possible that there was a DLC code that just didn't come with this copy. But yeah, I never heard of Rage, and it's just looks like a cool game. Sounds like a fun game to play. Second to last, we have Turok, which is another game I never heard of. I saw it sitting in the back, just kind of hidden amongst the other games. Somebody was trying to hide this game. Basically, you're an explorer, and there's dinosaurs that you can either tame or fight. Hostile planet, vicious enemy, deadly fight for survival. Choose to take out your enemies with quiet skills or massive firepower. Slay ferocious dinosaurs are with them to attack your enemies. Take the fight online. So you can play multiplayer, but it's basically a game where you fight other people, and I guess you can lure dinosaurs into fighting people for you, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I'm not sure what the story is, though. Maybe the story is like you land on a distant planet, you're like a spaceman, and there are dinosaurs and stuff, but I never heard of this game, and it sounds pretty cool, so I was going to give it a try. It was only like $10. And last but not least, we have Rogue Warrior, which is another Bethesda game. This one sounded pretty fucking cool. It sounds like a Tom Clancy game, but it's not. On the back, it says, I am the wrathful god of combat, which sounds pretty sick, and you basically play as Dick Marcinko, real-life founder of SEAL Team 6 and the U.S. Navy's most efficient killing machine. When a covert op behind the Iron Curtain leaves your team dead, it's up to you to finish the mission. Carve a path of destruction through North Korea and Soviet Russia using any means necessary. Best multi-platform game, full of pure action by Blast Magazine is what they claim. It's brutal kill moves. Kill your enemies before he kills you. Mixture of stealth and action. Go guns a-blazing and perform sneak attacks. Intense online multiplayer. Take kill moves online. Count bodies as you go. So it's, like I said, some sort of like stealthy sort of assassin style game. Kind of sounds like Hitman, if I'll be completely honest with you. The manual is very full of colors and detail as well, as you guys can see here. It looks like the manual out of Halo. But I never heard of this game until I saw it. But because it's made from Bethesda, I definitely have a lot of high hopes for the game. But anyways, that is everything new that I bought over the last couple of weeks. I really hope you guys enjoyed this super juicy and long haul. I know there's a lot of stuff in this video, so if you're one of those people like me that just enjoys watching long videos of people showing off new stuff to their collections, I really appreciate you stopping by. But regardless of what type of content watcher you are, you're here watching my video, and I appreciate you, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm thankful for your contribution to my channel. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I'll see you all in the next